श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम् नवकञ्जलोचन कञ्जमुखकर कञ्जपदकञ्जारुणम् कन्दर्पगणित अमितछविनवनीलनीरज सुन्दरम् पटपीतमानहु तडितरुचिशुचि नौमि जनकसुतावरम् श्रीराम श्रीराम राम राम सिया राम श्रीराम श्रीराम राम राम सिया राम श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम् नवकञ्जलोचन कञ्जमुखकर कञ्जपदकञ्जारुणम् कन्दर्पगणित अमितछविनवनीलनीरज सुन्दरम् पटपीतमानहु तडितरुचिशुचि नौमि जनकसुतावरम् श्रीराम श्रीराम राम राम सिया राम श्रीराम श्रीराम राम राम सिया राम।
Okay, I'm audible to everyone? Kind of? I'm getting conflicting reports. Okay, okay. Thank you, thank you. अब क्या करें जॉर्जी? एग्जैक्टली. How can I help?
Father,
Yes.
I would like to thank you for the reminding us the name of God, repeating always. It is so powerful. And also, I would like to thank you for teaching us the humility. Today, something happened. Before, I would think I was right to get angry,
Nice.
but your teachings, I saw that I was wrong. I was in ego to get angry, and so I'm so grateful.
Very good. Very good. Very good. These are the miracles which are valuable to me. These are the miracles.
It
Is-
is a miracle, Father.
Yes. When we can go from resentment, anger, pride to love, kindness, compassion, then that is a great miracle, better than what most people consider to be miracles. I like these because these are a change of heart, a change of direction, going from Maya, changing direction away from Maya to the heart, to the Atma, to the self. So bless you for this. Thank you for this. Very good, very good. Somebody has a remote for this. We can reduce the fan a bit. No, no, this one is fine. On this, the blue one is.
Father,
Yes, yes.
hello.
Hello, hello.
Wanted to share something about my practice, what I feel it helps me these days. I feel somehow it helps me to have inner attitude of surrendering my ego to God. And but and I do this like in a rhythm, in a repeated way
Yes,
whenever I feel that something takes shape inside, like the ego, I
yes,
offer it.
yes,
But I don't feel to repeat God's name verbally. It's more like an inner attitude of surrendering to the Almighty. So I don't know if it's considered more like a self-inquiry, this thing, or it's more like a devotion. I, but I feel
yes.
it helps me.
This is good. This is good. So, really, what is the attempt? The attempt is to be empty of the me.
Yes.
You see? The attempt is to be empty of the false me and it is this remaining empty of the false me which then leads to the revelation of the self, of God. So that process of revelation is a graceful process. That which seems to be in our hands at the moment only seems to be, but that seems to be is very important for the moment again. That how do we remain empty of this me?
Yes.
So if you have this inner open and empty, this inner open and empty, then you're empty of this me. And in that remaining empty of this me, the Atma within, the spirit within, gets the room to reveal its true nature to you and reveal its own source to you. You see? Now, whatever helps you remain empty of this me, that is your practice.
Yes.
And it is a very, very rare one who can remain empty of this me without any practice at all. You see? So even the ones who said that you don't need a practice would say, but be quiet. You see? So in a way that becomes a practice or a pointer for us to remember. You see? Or they would say, do the self-inquiry. Or they would say, remember God, remain in constant remembrance of Him. Or simply they would say, just take God's name. So in the pathways, there are thousands and thousands of pathways to God. But the pathway only leads to the point of that inner stillness, of that inner silence, where we are empty of this me. And as we are empty of this me, then through the process of inner osmosis, or whatever word you want to give it, the light of the Atma within reveals the holy truths to us, including the truth of who we are. So it needs a lot of integrity where we are able to just check for ourselves. Am I really being empty? And what is the way to check? Suffering, irritation, anger, psychological oppression, all of these things as we are suffering from, then even if the mind is making a report, but I am just empty, you see, then we don't buy into that story. Our life is telling us a different story. So to have integrity about that and to really notice what is the texture of my life, and in the texture of my life, am I getting the taste of holiness? Am I getting a taste of God? Then we can trust the report of our emptiness. Otherwise, we continue with our practice of self inquiry or taking God's name or reminding ourselves to be empty. But the last one we have to be cautious about, and we were talking about it the other day, that in the process of being empty, we get full of being empty. Isn't it? So, in the process of being without a topic, without a narrative, our then primary narrative which remains is I am without a narrative. So the sages
Yes.
have told us over and over again that to be empty of narratives, including the narrative of being empty, can seem
Yes.
very difficult, can seem very difficult for many in the human condition, but not for all. You see? And that's why I said it just needs for you to really check on the texture of your life with integrity, and then it's fine. It's fine.
To surrender the surrenderer.
Yeah. So remain empty, then yes, surrender the surrenderer in a way that that which remains is empty of even the notion of empty.
Yeah.
Now, one simple test for this is because we may feel that it is one thing to say that I don't need God name, which is not what you're saying. What I'm saying, many of us may feel that I can naturally be in God's presence. I don't need God's name. So for them, I would suggest a simple experiment. Take one day out of so many thousands of days in our lives. Take one day, and for one day, say that for today I will take my favorite name of God for the entire day. Okay? Why is this experiment useful? It is useful because if you can remain empty, unanchored, you see, if you can remain empty without any support, any anchor, then for those who are empty, to take God's name constantly for one day is the simplest thing. You see, it's the simplest thing because it just gives you the support to be empty. Whenever a notion is coming in your way, is seeming attractive, it doesn't have a chance because God's name has constantly been taken. You see? So if you're just being empty just naturally, then all these notions are coming and going anyway. But in that, there's a great potential for us tricking ourselves, or the mind tricking us. You see, looking back, because memory is very convenient, so we can look back and say, I was empty throughout the day. You see, but what is to tell? So for one day, remain empty for your whole life. It's very good. But for one day, do this experiment. It should be really easy for those who are truly empty. What is the difficulty? There is no obstruction to it. If you are empty, there is no obstruction to it. So just take God's name constantly for one day. That will give you a real sense of how empty you actually are. So in this way, you cannot fool yourself. So that's a good tip. I feel a good tip. I don't know if it's actually a good one.
The thing is that I don't feel that I am empty all the time. I mean, I use this practice of surrendering.
Yeah.
It's something that helps me to empty myself.
Yes, my dear. So how like it's next to impossible to be really quantitative about this, but would you say that you're empty for half the time, for 10%, for 1%?
Uh, I I would say that at least for half the day I feel,
Yeah,
but it's a constant practice
yeah,
to whenever something comes up that tries to put me into a shape, I surrender. I
yes, my dear. But at what point do we notice the shape forming? That's the question, isn't it? And why this is important? That it is important because if it was merely a question of being free from suffering, which sound like I'm saying merely, sorry, it is a big thing in our life to be free from suffering. But if it was, let me just finish that point. If it was merely a question of being free from suffering, then I could say the every time I notice the persona, the individual, the ego sense getting activated and created a sense of contraction in my heart, then I offer that to God. That is a very useful practice. You see, and in this practice with integrity, as soon as you notice you offer it to God, you cannot really suffer. You see? You cannot really suffer. But the question is not merely that of the end of suffering, it is about the realization of the self, the realization of God, whether you call it self realization or God realization. You see? So, because it is a question of that, And the more time we spend in the sunshine of the Atma within, the Holy Spirit within, you see, in that silent, unperceivable transmission from our heart, which fills us with its light and therefore leads to the revelation of reality of truth. And because the spiritual path is a process of revelation of the truth, of the Satsang, the truth is Sat. So, because it is a question of the process of revelation, therefore, the more time you spend empty of the me, which naturally brings you to the silent, unperceivable transmission within, where grace can unfold and Atma Darshan, Atma Gyan can unfold. Therefore, I would say that our intention should be in God to be in God's presence constantly. That is our intention. So I would say that if our attempt is that I want to just lead a peaceful life, it means that every time I see that what causes suffering in my life is the resistance to what is from the ego. So I just allow myself to flow, and then when I notice that there is a tinge, a pinch, a poke, a sense of individuality. You see? Now the thing with this is, at what point do we notice? As long as the person seems to be having a good time, we are all right, mostly. You see, we are not saying, this is too much fun, God, please take him. We are okay with that. The minute something happens, a conflict comes, our partner fights with us, or a friend fights with us, or our manager or bosses at work get angry, or we lose some money. You see, that is when we say, this one is coming up, let God please take it. So it's a question of then picking and choosing, and second, after how much time do we remember God? After how much time will we remember to surrender? So really, the pathway of spirituality is to remain constantly in His presence, in the presence of His presence, which is the Atma or Spirit. There, our discipleship of spirituality, our discipleship of Satsang really happens. Spirituality has to be in the light of spirit. Can we deny that? We can't deny that. No? Spirituality being in the light of spirit seems like saying a restaurant must serve food, isn't it? So there is no question about that. But most in spirituality have not come to the discipleship of spirit. Have not come to the discipleship of spirit because that is maybe not understood. Maya plays its tricks, and we feel like spirituality is nothing to do with spirit actually. Absurd. So I would really say that the freedom from suffering is a sweet, beautiful byproduct of spirituality, of the discipleship of the spirit. But our intention should be truth. Our intention should be love for God. Our intention should be to remain empty of the me, so that our antakarna is available constantly for God. Is that helpful in some way?
Yeah, yes, thank you. Thank you, Father. I will contemplate what you you told me, and I see also that imagination sometimes can be tricky. The tendency to imagine God, like some
Exactly.
some very big, light or space or love.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes I recognize that there is like a light of God, like awareness before which is aware and is in my heart, the which is before the mind somehow. And
Yes. Yes.
only recently, I think I found this awareness that is in my heart, and it's beautiful to rest in it, to marinate in it, to I don't know, to to be in the presence of God, to in
Yes.
His light.
Yes.
There are two potential positions that somehow come to me, like this one that is before the mind and is in my heart, or the other position is something like God is the big other, like the big outside of me, like vast as the universe or bigger than everything that I know. But itself, I feel both are kind of helping to. I think maybe God is both. It's both
Yes.
bigger than myself and both.
Yes. In the heart. So, in the heart is actually uh, is actually not contradictory to the second. You see that the one who lives in your heart is beyond this universe, and therefore your heart is also, it's got a chamber, let's say, which is beyond this universe. You see, isn't that such a great gift to know that I consider myself a limited entity, but the sages across traditions, across timelines, across religions have all told us that in the hridaya, in the heart, the Lord of the universe delights to stay. So, for most people, this is an alien concept. For most of us, it's an alien concept. Even for those where it's not an alien concept, it just remains a concept. Now, coming to satsang is to bring it from concept into reality. To come to
Father,
Atma Darshan, yes,
I would like to add something.
yes, please,
Uh, Also, before I was so inclined to self-inquiry,
yes,
and I was blessed many times with so many insights.
yes,
Uh, I was blessed with there's no separation nowhere and many other insights.
yes,
But still, the insights was not alive all the time, moment to moment, and they became like concepts.
yes,
But repeating God's name keeps me so much, takes me deeper and deeper, I feel. So I'm again grateful that you teach us repeating God's name. Thank you so much.
it's very beautiful. Uh, to snap out of it remaining as just a conceptual understanding into it becoming a lived reality, we have to turn within And the turning can only happen through the method, practice, pointers that our teachers are telling us. So, it is not a spiritual path if we are not being told about the pathway to spirit. How is the simplicity of, like, I feel like all of us will conclude that self inquiry clearly is a pathway to spirit. Yes, nobody will doubt that. It sounds fancy enough. I'm doing self inquiry, so then that has to be a pathway to spirit. Actually, self inquiry is very simple. Like just asking sincerely the question, who am I? You see? And then when the mind produces an answer, a thought comes, you say, who witnesses that thought? What is so difficult? You see, what is so difficult? It's a fairly straightforward process. And what happens in that process is that the Antakarna's design brings us to the point where that revelation can happen. Now that point may be called Nididhyasana, it may be called silence, it may be called stillness, it may be called contemplation, some may call it meditation. In different terms we may use. But nobody can say that upon saying who am I sincerely 100 times or 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times, it is guaranteed that I will come to the answer. Nobody promises us that, isn't it? So, because all that the question can do when asked sincerely is bring us to that stillness where, in the mercy of God, in His grace, the revelation of the truths will be revealed to us. And that can never be forced, it can never be entitled. And that's why humility is so important. Now, the same thing happens when you take God's name. And it doesn't matter, any of His holy names throughout the world, any religion are completely fine. See? And we talked about this, maybe some of you were not here, so I like to repeat this aspect of it. And so today I received a box of mangoes, so today I can use mango as the example. So if you keep saying mango to yourself, what happens? Your entire antakarna will be full of mango soon. You say mango, then your mouth may start watering, so body reacts. Then your region of memory may bring you memory of when you tasted mangoes, maybe childhood, some beautiful memory. So that memory may come. Then memory, imagination, you may start imagining that you're savoring the taste of a mango. Then the emotions related with the mango, maybe nice emotions, fun, sweetness, all that may come. You see? So we get immersed in the remembrance of the name, even of a worldly object. You see? And this can happen, like if you have some negative type, like kusang, right? It's not about satsang or kusang just on the outside, but also in the inside. If we immerse ourselves in negativity, then we'll get immersed in that. You see? So now what happens when you take the name of God? Ram, Krishna, Jesus, Allah, whatever name you want to take. So you say Ram, Ram. And you find the same thing may happen. But what is important that happens is that our insides are designed to point us in the direction of what we are remembering. So although in the design of our soul, in the design of our insides, it does not have under its own capacity the capacity for revelation of God, but in its intelligence it does know where to bring us, where that revelation can happen, which is the same place where self-inquiry brings us. It is that same place which is called Nididhyasana. It is that same place which is called silence, stillness, contemplation. It is that place where spirit will reveal itself to us. And only through the eyes of the spirit can the truth of who we are reveal itself to us. You see? It is not possible to bypass it. So when we come to satsang, we get a taste, a miniature replica of that revelation that seeds us with the fragrance within. And then that fragrance we can follow to that holy place in our heart fearlessly. So our coming to outer satsang with openness is an antidote to fear. You see, because these terrains, if you were to try and navigate by ourselves many times, we get scared. But since you have a fragrance of that through your experiences in satsang, you're able to follow that. So, that in a nutshell is the spiritual process. And can you see the importance of humility in this? The minute you come to the sense that I know something, that receptivity, openness, stillness is not there. You see? So if ever you are frustrated in your spirituality, feeling that why is Atma not revealing itself to us, to me, I have been doing the inquiry, I have been taking God's name, then just keep working on your humility, on your entitlement.
May I share something, Father?
Yes, yes, my
Um, these days there's some experiences that are unpleasant. For example, there's a teenager in my neighborhood who saw me that I feed the cats, and maybe he thinks that I'm kind of a pacifistic, weak person, and he started making fun of me whenever he sees me on the street. And I try to respond with some things, but he doesn't stop. He always makes fun of me, and it's hard for me. I feel my pride attacked. Like it's hard to be humble and not get angry. And this is an example.
Very good. It's very good. This itself uh, helps us on the pathway to humility. Helps us on the pathway to humility.
Because the mind says that if I become humble and
So the way that sorry, my dear, but the way the construct was put in the question, which was he probably believes that I am a pacifist, weak person. You see?
yeah, it's not the best use of words.
No, I'm saying that,
Pacifists are not
but
weak.
pacifist is not a bad thing, is it?
Well, I don't know what word to use, like I don't know, like shy or uh, non-violent. I don't know.
All
Um,
of this is sounding like compliments to me as you say them.
yes, I know, but there are people that they don't like that. They
Yes,
don't
yes,
like.
they don't like it, of course. And yet, do you like it?
Yes,
Yes, then that's fine. Then that's fine.
because some people, want to take advantage of people who are non-violent and kind and
Yes, I understand.
so. Uh,
Yes, yes. But those are the very people that cannot be taken advantage of.
mm.
It is the defenseless ones that can't be attacked because you can only attack the defenses. You see? So we were talking about openness, emptiness. then as the world's derision, as the world's scorn is met with emptiness, it has nowhere to land in you.
I'm still I'm still trying to learn that. Yeah.
Yes, all of us, all of us. I'm also not saying from a place where I'm saying I have perfected this or I am the master. I'm not. I'm just a beginner in this. We all learning this together.
Yes.
So really the point is to, can we love the hell out of them? Can we love the hell out of those who attack us?
Yeah. There is also like a desire for this kind of experiences to stop, but uh, I should not be attached to that.
Yes. We can use that then as an opportunity to love. You see, love is really love when it's very difficult to love. It's not the strongest love when it's so easy to love.
Mm.
That is why there's one story of Saint Therese of Lisieux. She actually, there was one older nun in the convent who managed to irritate her every day with something or the other. You see, and then she would have to work hard to love her. You see? Now, this lady, after Therese passed away very young, she felt like, how did this young child love me the most among everyone? I
Mm.
was her favorite, she said. You see? Now, the mind is a trickster. It will say, but that is hypocrisy. You see? That is hypocrisy. That is not love. You see? Actually, you're getting irritated, but you're treating the person with so much kindness and compassion. That is not love. That is fake. That is hypocrisy. No, it is us working hard to fight the oppression of the mind which wants to separate, which wants to divide. So the spiritual path is full of these struggles, is full of the Mahabharat, the Indian story of
Yeah.
the battle between good and evil. So this inner battle is something that we must all undertake to fight. We must not give in to mental temptation to resent, to hate, to anger. And no matter how much Advaita policing we do, we cannot deny these facts. Because the
Yes.
way of spirit is the way of love.
Yes. I will contemplate this.
Very good,
Thank
very
you.
good.
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Father,
Yes, yes, my dear.
yes, and it seems related. You said a while ago that it was unfortunate that people were saying negative things about Gandhi.
Yeah.
And I just recently saw a YouTube, just a few minutes of a YouTube about many people dying because they adopted his nonviolence approach. I didn't know that great numbers. I didn't finish watching it. But does it mean we have to be prepared to die?
Simple answer, yes, but I would question. I would question the statistics of such a video. Actually, I don't know if there's actually been a study on whether primarily if the whole movement was violent, whether more of us would have died. I'm not sure whether it would have been more or less, but I'll be happy to look at this video. But the simple answer to that is, if on the pathway of love, and I'm nowhere near this. So please don't think as I'm sharing these things, I'm saying I would be able to do these things, but I feel like clear in my heart that this is the pathway which may seem like a difficult pathway that the Atma lays out for us. That in our path towards attacking the darkness but loving the apparent sinner or the apparent oppressor, no sacrifice is too small. And this is very difficult to live by. So if somebody came and attacked my family, would I not attack them back in response? I really can't give you the answer, but most likely I would, because I don't know how to fully walk the pathway of spirit yet. But I know that the way my heart is, the way the Atma within guides, it is full of love, kindness, and compassion. You see? Now there comes a point where the spirit does guide us to pick up arms for ourselves, like Krishna did with Arjun in the Mahabharata. You see, then, but those are rare, and they happen to the rare ones. So we have to be really careful when we make that conclusion that God's light, God's guidance for us in this moment is to fight. We have to be very, very careful about that.
Father.
Yes,
Hello.
Madhu.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I just wanted to expose some fear that it's I think it's super common, let's say, but the more I repeat the name of God, and in the last few days, the more I can feel again somehow that the fragrance of only the fragrance, but, and some stillness and the fear, of course, came of that I'm being fooled, or like I'm like in some kind of hypnotic yes,
Yeah.
and also the fear of surrendering everything, let's say. And
Fear of surrendering.
yeah,
No, it can seem like. Now, okay, let's look at it this way. If the entire world, suddenly you woke up one day, huh, and the entire world, all our brothers and sisters in the world, were taking themselves to be cockroaches. Everybody was considering that they are cockroaches. Okay. Now, would you say that they are under the hypnosis, or you are under the hypnosis? Okay, so let me give you an example. You talk to a brother And you say, but brother, who are you? And the brother says, I'm just a cockroach. You know? And then you say, but how do you know you're a cockroach? They say, but what kind of question is that? Everybody is a cockroach. All of us, see there's 7 billion around you, all cockroaches. Ask anyone, they will say, I'm a cockroach. You see? But you say, but have you really checked for yourself? Say, I don't need to check. Say, you must check. And the brother says, why? What will I get if I check? What is the cockroach benefit? You see, to checking who I really am. You see? So this is the hypnosis of avidya. This is the hypnosis of Maya, where all of us are taking ourselves to be just the body mind. And the minute we want to step out of that hypnosis into just checking what is the reality, and in the just the checking, we receive some fragrance, love, light, and the mind comes in the way immediately and says, but you are getting hypnotized. The very one who is oppressing us with this hypnosis of a limited identity comes and says, but this is some la la land. You're just losing track of your life. You'll just
Yeah.
become a loser. You see, these are the things that all of us hear in spirituality. You just become a loser. What are you doing with your life?
Yes.
And but you say, but who are you? They say, what do you mean? I am this person. I am this human being. You see? But how many have really checked? So the world is in this uh, contagion of false identity, avidya, false knowledge. And to break through that false knowledge through the spiritual pathway is the breaking out of the hypnosis of Maya. But of course, Maya is not going to say, good job, you're breaking the hypnosis of Maya. You see? It may say that actually to make us proud, but maybe not yet.
Yeah, it seems so antisocial, anti the way of the spirit somehow. No, let's say
Yes.
it seems
Yes, my dear.
so.
But okay, can I just say something? I can't stop myself.
Yeah, please.
I want to say this fact. We are saying that there is a spirit which lives inside us, and that spirit is God's presence. The Atma is who? God's presence. You see? And on the other hand, the mind comes and says, but that's such an antisocial way to live. I may meet God. How is it important that the world may take me to be antisocial? You see? This is the value judgment, the value confusion that the mind creates. You see? Like what is on offer is God Himself. You see? And not just that, there is no religion, no set of sages who have survived the test of time who have not told us that unless we come to Atma Gyan, unless we come to Atma Darshan, our life is meaningless. It is zombie life. And the only way to cross this cycle of birth and death is to meet God's presence, is to find God. If I have to pay that price of becoming antisocial, I say, okay, that's it, that's the only price here. I am antisocial. You see? We cannot be bullied by the mind with these small things. You see, I don't have to be socially popular if for being socially popular I have to give up on God. See, I'm not at all ranting against you. I'm just saying that
No.
I'm looking at the tricks of the mind, and what it offers us is just peanuts compared to the whole universe, which this transformation makes us gain. We gain the Lord of the universe Himself. What can the world offer us which can be of enough value compared to that? Okay, let me put this another way. If you could eat a peanut right now, or you have a 1% probability at becoming immortal, what would you pick? Yeah, we may laugh, but the point is that faith that is needed, because the mind convinces us that to find God, to be immersed in God, to come to self-realization is a very small chance. But what is that very small chance of? You see? And this whole universe is a peanut compared to that. Whatever Maya can offer us is nothing compared to that. You see? And then we say, and again, I'm not Shivam, it's not really about you. I just want to speak about this. It's just coming from the heart to speak about it. Then what the mind will say, okay, can I have half the peanut and also keep my chance to meet God alive? So this is like, just in case I don't get God, at least I got half my peanut. You see?
Yeah,
So
but
at least can I do it in some balance? You see? So this is the nature of the mind, and even our families will tell us, don't overdo it. Do it in some balance. When you're at the right age, then you can do it fully. You see, and that right age never comes. It only comes when we'll be completely unable to do it. Then people say, yes, now you turn to God. Why are you so worldly? Huh? Have you seen that? People, when they become really old, everybody tell them, now you better turn to God, you are too worldly. But that is the way I was conditioned for 95 years. For 95 years, the world conditioned me to be like that. And then at the 96th year, it says, now you turn to God. You see, it doesn't happen like that because our grooves are so deeply embedded. We can't just suddenly turn to God. You see, it is not possible. And the fact of the matter is that if we turn to God, we are never not taken care of, even in a worldly way. Everything that we truly need is taken care of. What other guarantee is required? So this is the thing. Somewhere we just have to bring our sword out and say, I don't want anything from you, Miss Maya. You see, I don't want anything from you. Whatever highest you can offer me is not even a grain of sand at God's feet. So that is the story of the Katha Upanishad, where the god of death himself comes to this young boy Nachiketa and says, why you want to know about immortality and what is beyond death? I'll give you the best things in life. You see? And Nachiketa just said, but will any of that survive you, god of death? And death said no. And he says, I don't want any of that. Tell me the pathway beyond yourself. So, somewhere to fight these mind's fears and temptations, then we just have to really bring that strength to our heart and say, what do I really want? I could become really popular, sociable, people may love me, and then I die. And then they die. What is it about? What's going on?
Father, may I ask
Yes, yes, please.
a very short question
Please, please.
about the name of God?
Yeah.
Uh, is Vitala and Panduranga also names of God? Because I feel I resonate with them.
Yes, yeah. Very
Is
much.
it names of Krishna or
Yes. Yes, names of Krishna, names of Vishnu. So Vishnu um, came in the form of Ram, Krishna, and then many different revelations were made to devotees, disciples, and one of them is Lord Vithala in Maharashtra. So, very holy name of God.
and I can repeat that, no? If
Yes, if you feel drawn to it, very much. Very much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
That's sweet. Thank you. Yes. The mic, please, to Vasu.
Father, you have often told us not to pick up the next thought.
Yeah.
You say we are liberated now, and the way to get bound is to pick up the next thought. So, the small self, which I thought was always picking up the next thought, on inquiry is not to be found.
Yes, exactly.
So, then who is picking up the next thought?
Yes. So, if you see that there is no such limited entity, you see, you find that it is in the picking up of the thought that the sense of the creation of that entity happens. You see, there is no such entity ever, so it is not that non-existent one cannot pick up anything. You see, so the one that is sitting in the middle of both of you, can it pick up something? So, because it doesn't exist, it has no power. You see, you, that Antakarna, that soul, that which emerges in the light of consciousness, that I am, when mixed with the notion I am something, you see, that is the creation of the false self. So I am itself has given to itself the capacity to pick up. I'm sorry. So this consciousness itself has given to itself the capacity to immerse itself in the small identity, or to recognize itself as all there is, as consciousness itself. Now this capacity is what we usually call the inner instrument, the Antakarna. You see? So the Antakarna can immerse itself in Maya, or can immerse itself in God or truth, whichever way you want to look at it. I know that you are not particularly attracted to God but self or truth is more attractive to you. So this Antakarna, like the one who is listening to this answer right now,
Awareness.
so now does awareness have a question? Like, who is seeking understanding? You see? Now, when something is not clear in the intellect, it pokes us somewhere, you see, and we seek an understanding, or we seek an answer that can clarify, can remove that poke. You see? Now, who is getting poked that something is not clear?
It seems to be the small self.
Yes, so this, what you're calling the small self, let's use the word Antakarna for a moment. You see, now once this turns in its self to its source, then it's filled with only that which you're calling the big self. The more it immerses itself in worldly notions, concepts, narratives, the more it seems to get constricted and smaller. You see? So that is the spiritual process. How to immerse this, which is called Antakarna or soul, in the truth, in God, you see, is the spiritual process. Now, one way to do that is direct, is to say, no, there is no such thing, forget it. You are free now. then what happens? You're not buying any of the narrative, any Maya intake. So it is apparent that the small self didn't really take birth, was never there.
Because when I try to sit in silence and observe the whole process, it sort of, I could see that it is awareness itself which is picking up or creating the next thought.
Okay. So awareness, the one that is trying to sit in silence, is it the same? If this one that was trying to sit in silence
Merges.
had no distinction even imagined from awareness itself, then there would be no trying needed. You see? And all of us will admit that sometimes it is a struggle. Why is it a struggle? For whom? You see? So this, that's why I've started using this, borrowing from the sages of the past, using the term the Antakarna, because this is a very useful term. This can immerse itself in Maya or it can immerse itself in God. And as it's immersed in God, then all division, all separation, all of that dissolves. And as it immerses itself in worldly narratives and worldly things, then it's seen more and more distant from truth.
Thank you for that.
And it is to this Antakarna that the truth is revealed by the Atma. It is to this Antakarna that the truth is revealed by the Atma. By remaining empty, it is fully available to be immersed in the truth. By filling itself with stories, with thoughts, it seems to become more and more separate, individualized. Is there a reality to any of this? You see, that's a very difficult question, because what do we mean by reality? The fact is that we find it difficult to remain open and empty. You see, so just to find some solution to that difficulty, we create these constructs to be able to speak about things. The only reality is God Himself. So it's best to approach, as I'm getting older, I'm finding it easier and more helpful for everyone, hopefully, to approach things from what their present experience seems to be. And I'm finding that after 10 years of sharing just open and empty, I'm finding that most of my children, it's all my fault of course, but most of my children got caught up in a notional empty rather than a true emptiness. The notional empty being still caught in the notion of being empty instead of being empty of that. We'll come back to you. I know there's still a puzzle.
Father, just stretching that question that was asked a little more. Like when you asked, I'm talking to who am I talking to, or who is hearing these words right now? He said awareness. And even for me in that moment, it was just like everything was just dropped and was clear. Although the narrator, the voice, what we are calling small self, seemingly fictitious. My question is more from a brain biology standpoint, and I feel at least so far in 5 years I've not found any contradiction between what is being shared here and what is being seen in the biological world. Um, and I know it has its limitations, so I'm not overstretching that, but like in animals, there is a very tiny amygdala, which is the part of the brain that seemingly generates this internal narrator. Uh, and in long term meditators, and in fact, in non dual meditators compared to, let's call them regular meditators, the amygdala is way quieter from a neurobiological activity standpoint. So it all kind of lines up with everything that we are experiencing, what's being shared here, and so on. And then when they give people a substance that completely shuts down the amygdala, they have the beatific experience and emptiness and all of that. And sure, all of that is not sustainable and that's not the path. But where I'm trying to come in is there is something real inside the skull that is generating that stuff.
It depends on real. It depends on what we mean by real. Is real?
I mean, in that sense, there's nothing to be said, right?
So what I'm saying is very helpful. When I just started spirituality, I was told that there are 7 layers to my existence. Body, breath, mind, intellect, memory, ego, self. That's what I was told. Now, the beauty of this is that all of these layers are connected in some way. You see? So, if I have peace in my mind, then my body also feels more rested. You see? If my breath is settled, then the other layers seem more relaxed also. So, they all seem to be interrelated. So, when we're talking about reality, if we mean that it's like this, yes. So, if there are buttons in the body that can be pressed a certain way, which can change the complexion of the rest of my layers, of course.
Okay, so I mean, regardless of whether that's really real or not, even if it
this real thing came to us as a thought experiment by the Vedantins, isn't it? They said that consider everything that changes to be unreal. Now, they didn't give us any reasoning behind that. They didn't say this is why you should consider, this is what makes it unreal, this is the actual difference between real and unreal. They said everything that changes is unreal. You see? How does that help? It allows us to dwell on that which we don't usually dwell on. We are constantly dwelling on the changing. So then with this thought experiment, we were able to focus and spend time seeking inwardly that which is beyond change. You see? So I feel that this real came from there. This whole real versus unreal thing in spirituality came from there. You said, okay, Maya is not real because it's not eternal. You see? But we rarely ever ask, so what does it mean by real except not eternal itself? You know what I mean? It's like saying that I am defining it and it's relying on itself for its definition.
Yeah, so no conflict there, Father. And I'll stay away from that word if we stay with the Vedantic definition of real. Maybe the other analogy to provide here is if there's a loudspeaker and a TV in this room that's blasting violent music, angry music, and so on. I'm just using that as a substitute for the amygdala.
Exactly.
Whether it's real or not, I'm not using that. Seems to be occurring inside consciousness.
Yes.
This noise, this madness, or whatever. And like you said, when we open up to awareness, there is no problem there, and it's been seen so many times in satsang and in our own practice. all I'm saying is just like the TV blasting with violent music and imagery seems to be present. Similarly, this self could also just be present, and it could be driven through biology. And even if it is there, so what? We have the way to live in awareness, which may be free of all of this biology. So I don't know. The reason I'm bringing it up is sometimes I feel by calling it fake or an imposter or non-existent, am I overdoing it? Am I just like denying the existence of a television that is loud and is scary and it's making me upset and saying it doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Because it's clearly affecting me.
I hear you. So, okay, now whenever I say two things, I'll forget the second one. So, the stressing on the point about real and unreal is only because I don't want any of us to get into any sort of brainism. The brainism being that the brain produces the rest of the universe. We spoke about it last time. That then if the brain produces the rest of the universe, who produces the brain? Where is the brain? Lying separate from the universe. So we're not getting into any of that brainism stuff. The unreality of the me, you see. So even if we say that everything perceived is real, let's give it reality, you see. So we're not Vedantins for a moment. Let's say everything that we perceive is our experience is real. Who is anyone else to doubt my experience? It's all real. Now, is this me found?
No. On inspection, no.
So this me is not found. The only evidence we have of this me then becomes this narrative. You see, it is saying, I want this, I like this, I don't like this. You see, but the I that it is referring to, that is not found. It finds a centrality in the body, but most of what it is saying has nothing to do with the body. The body, for example, doesn't care about its bank account. The body doesn't care about who is a special relationship. It's not about the body. So although the body is used as a decoy by this mental narrative, when investigated, we find that it is not really talking about the body. It is talking about an entity which we cannot even find in a perceivable sort of way, in the way that we may find the body. So that is why we can say that it's a second layer of unreality for this me, because it's not even found perceivably. You see? So is it any different from if I was to start considering myself to be an alligator? You see, I have a strong belief I'm an alligator. Now nobody can stop me from believing this nonsense. No? So but I believe it. Now, at what level of reality would we put the alligator? You would say it's at a different level of reality from even the world. So, if we were to go back to Vedanta again, and if we say all perceptions themselves are unreal, then the alligator is at another next level of unreality, isn't it?
Right.
Because it's not even found as a perception.
So if that's beautiful. And so if I had to now paraphrase what I was trying to say, there is a monkey, seeming monkey, and my problem is that I associate that to be a me, which is never real. But the monkey exists.
In my belief.
My belief is that monkey is me is what causes the problem. When I ascribe...
So the monkey exists
and by monkey
besides
I mean
your
there is this noise happening. Maybe monkey is giving it too much embodiment. Thoughts are arising. There's seeming trouble. And
now, but we never take the thought to be the monkey, no?
That's how,
You see, the thoughts exist at the same plane.
You
see? But the monkey does not exist at the same plane.
Right. That's good. Thank you to clarify that.
You see, so I'm not denying that these thoughts appear, and the thoughts can seem real in our experience. So if we're calling our experience real, then they are as real as every other experience. Only when we apply the Vedantic thought experiment that take everything that changes to be unreal, then we say all of this is unreal. Now Shankara confuses even more by saying Maya is both real and unreal. So make of that what you will.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's just a way, all of these are just ways in which we look in the direction of that which we call the inside. So if I say not this because it's unreal, neti, 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 it brings us to a point, it brings us to that road less traveled, that proverbial road less traveled, which is looking on the inside rather than the outside. And that is the purpose of that labeling of real and unreal, I feel.
That's beautiful. There's this Zen interaction between a student and the master, and he asks his master, "Are my thoughts and my suffering real?" And then he replies, I think, saying, "Yes, it is real, but you were trying to make it really real."
Yes, exactly.
You're exaggerating it.
Exactly.
Thank you, Father.
The real is a very tricky word. The same thing what we were talking about, small self, antakarna, universe, body, all of these labels, they're just word tools.
Also, one more, Father, on like when you just asked today, what is listening to these words, and before when you started satsang, you said self-inquiry is actually so simple. Why is it that we find, not we, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people find it, like my friends have said, oh, it's very heady, it's very heady.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's the simplest thing in the world. So what is this? Is that the hypnosis part that you were talking about?
Because the minute most of us would have had this experience that when we take up self-inquiry, the mind tries to scare us away from it, tells us it's too complicated, nothing is happening, there is no answer coming. You see, all of these thoughts come. And actually that which is meant to be the opposite of heady can seem like it is very heady. It's actually meant to be the simplest. Something more? Yeah, to Ishan. Ishan.
Father, the self-inquiry, um, okay, I'm very drawn to it, Father.
Yeah.
And this thing that always catches me is all things are perfectly resolved in the unborn.
Yeah.
Every time I'm drawn to self-inquiry,
Yeah.
I see that okay, I need help because I feel my expression changes
Yeah.
outwardly. And somewhere I feel there's potential for pride. I like when I'm saying Ram, 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 it's a different flavor. But when I ask myself who am I, like it's
What happened?
so when I ask myself, when I ask who am I, there's a deep silence.
Yeah.
I feel I it's hard to explain, but I'll try. I feel I have I've reached a point where it
Who has reached the point?
okay,
Because
okay,
you're talking about self-inquiry.
yeah, I've I am I am here where I don't feel a boundary. There's no space. Like
Who is here? Remember that self-inquiry is never about what the experience I'm having. It is really sincerely, relentlessly checking for who I am.
yeah, okay. Yeah. So when I ask who am I?
Yeah. Can we do together?
Yeah.
Who are you? I don't want to know what experience you're having, what happens, none of that. I just want to know who you are. Who is aware of the perception of these words, of this sound? You are. This I, which is aware of the perception of the words, how is this I known? How do you know it is you?
I know it's me.
Do you know because you see this I?
I don't see it.
You don't see it. So suppose you are in a witness stand in a court. You see? Now the judge is asking, who is hearing this? Who is aware of this perception of these words?
I am.
You are. Now you're being asked to prove it. Like, how do you know it is you?
It is me. I can't doubt it.
But you don't see it. Nobody has seen this I. No? Is it? Don't see it.
I can't show
Are you
it.
just thinking that it's you?
No.
Not thinking.
No.
So it's neither based on perception nor is it based on concept. And yet you're so sure about it.
Yeah.
Anything else in the universe you're that sure about without perception or concept? Sorry?
No.
Nothing. This is the only knowledge in this way. No? So as you remain there, if you remain unconcerned with whatever other experiences may be playing out and keep asking, who is witnessing this? Then there's no room for pride in that. Maybe your mind's idea of you getting proud because of self-inquiry is to try and prevent you from staying in the self-inquiry. But you will find that the texture of remaining in God's name and the texture of sincere self-inquiry is very similar. Both of them need humility. Because pride means I know. In self-inquiry, we cannot take the I know with us.
I get stuck somewhere when I do this, Father. Like,
Stuck where?
yeah, this.
A better question would be who gets stuck?
I don't inquire.
Who?
Like, I can.
Is it seeming like an unfair question to her?
Yeah, this one, yeah.
I can sense
Because
it.
I can say I'm praying, but when I say I don't know if I'm able to say.
See, with self-inquiry, we have to get to the end. There is no resting the eye on anywhere else but the truth. You see? So if we are going to do the self-inquiry, then this eye will not be allowed to rest on anything provisional. You see? Because that's the one that has to go for the insight to become clear, for the insight to become apparent.
Father, that I hear you, that it like this, all things are perfectly resolved in the unborn. That when I ask who am I, then I meet the unborn.
Who does? She's gonna get upset.
No, there's not. Okay, lack of, like, I'm struggling with word. Not I meet the unborn, but
You become the unborn in a way.
I see that I am the
Yeah.
I am unborn. I don't know how to say it. Yeah, not I meet, but
Yes. The unborn is that which never took birth phenomenally.
yeah.
So the ultimate reality of the self is this unborn. And Master Bankai said all things are perfectly resolved in the unborn, which is actually trickery with words, because in the unborn, what are things? What is resolved? Yeah. So it's just an invitation to return to the unborn, to see our unborn nature, which has remained uncontaminated in the birth of all of these things. Tishu, again.
No, no. Yeah. What did you say? The last line I missed. Okay. When I ask who am I see that I am not born. I was not born. I don't go in this direction because of that. I feel there's potential for pride. Can you help?
How? I'm not still not getting this. Why
Because
should,
when I don't know.
like, there's no individual that can take ownership of the unborn.
I think I take ownership of this,
Yes, but
and
that I'm saying that would be false, isn't it?
yeah, I don't see that. That's why then I come out like
Who
10-headed.
is the one which is the unborn?
It's not me, but it's me.
It's I.
Yeah.
Beyond phenomena,
Not Ishana.
beyond world, beyond
Yeah.
name, form, everything.
It's not
Now,
Ishana.
who is the one that can take ownership of this?
Ishana can.
Exactly. So then you see the contradiction already, no?
I don't see it, but now I'm seeing it.
Yes,
But
because that is the Ravan thing, no?
yeah.
That I, Ravan, am God himself. Why should I bow down to Ram?
Yeah.
You see, I have seen that I am that. You see, but not that one. That one is not seen. You see, you, Ishana, are not seeing anything. No, there is no Ishana like that. But
Yeah.
let's say you,
Yeah.
Ishana, are not seeing.
Yeah. I see it, and I see that I am not this. I am not.
So this consciousness, this sense I am, then is looking back and peering at its own source by the grace of the Atma itself. You see, in the light of the Atma itself, it is seeing the I, which remains unchanged, unaffected through all of this play of this world. Now, that I plays as I am, and then I am has the potential to take itself to be something. So once I am takes itself to be Ishana, you see, then it has lost the insight
I-ness.
about exactly.
Yeah. It's lost the I-ness. So the truth
Because
is
it is not lost but covered under the
yeah.
layer of ignorance, avidya.
So the truth is
Correct. Hidden.
veiled. Yeah.
Exactly. Veiled. In a way, it's good to see that our mind would love to hold on to that which it thinks is the highest insight and say, now I got it.
Yeah.
You see? But that I hasn't got it.
Yeah.
That which is prior to name and form is revealing itself to itself.
Further, where does inquiry and bhakti meet? Like, I was exploring this, that where is the meeting?
Yes. So, who are you? So this turning inwards,
Yeah.
where the revelation is possible, is the same place where bhakti gets us.
So when I say Ram,
Yeah, say
Ram, it Ram, the false drops, the but I can't say that I am, but I can't say that I am meeting. I'll, okay,
when we are meeting, how can we say that I am meeting? On what basis?
But when I say Ram, I feel that I'm coming to a place, but
When you ask, then it feels like a vastness. Is it like that?
Yeah, like there's a vast,
Yes.
no,
So allow that vastness to remain, and that vastness itself will bring you to that place.
yeah, yeah. They
Yes.
converge at,
Remember that a perceived vastness is not who you are. A perceived vastness is not who you are. A perceived vastness is a good preparatory step. Then that perceived vastness, you will feel either it tears its own fabric and you can't place yourself anywhere, or it settles in the same way in that holy still place that the name of God brings us to.
can I, Father, this whole exploration got triggered because a couple of days back you said that there is no me and Ram when I'm saying Ram.
Exactly.
There's only Ram.
Yeah.
Like that, like something, like my eyes, like something hit. Like
Yes.
I got struck by a. So when you say that, so when I say Ram, there's still a me that is saying Ram. I don't feel like I'm coming to the same place.
Yes. But as you keep saying Ram, then it is inescapable. In the sense that as our practice of taking God's name deepens, we have to, there is nowhere for us to go but at the door of the heart temple.
Yeah.
Whatever method we use, if it's spiritual, it will bring us to the door of spirit. You see?
Yeah.
Now at the door of spirit, revelation happens. We see the truth of who we are. We see the perceivable, unperceivable Atma. You see? That it reveals itself as Atma Darshan. And Atma Darshan itself reveals the very nature of my reality as Nirguna Brahman.
So when I say Ram, Father, I come to not once. Let's say I
Yeah.
say it a few times. I feel I come to Devachi Dwari.
Yes.
Is that the same as this, the first exploration where I asked,
Yes.
who am
Tell
I?
me exactly what happens when you ask who you are.
Okay. So when I ask, who am I?
What is happening now?
I am like,
Yes, so let me make this multiple choice. So when you sincerely ask, who am I? Your attention can get withdrawn inwards, or attention can become let free and it can seem like a unconstrained vast space.
it feel like vast.
Vastness. Now who perceives this vastness?
I.
Yes. What is happening when you ask? Who perceives this vastness?
There's a looking.
Yes. Stay in that looking.
I can't locate myself.
Yes. Who perceives this vastness?
I do.
Is this I presumed?
No.
Presumed or found?
I discovered it. Like, I found
Where?
here. Not spatial, but here.
What does it look like?
It's formless.
Is there anything special about this experience? In the sense, is it not universal?
It's not special.
Exactly. So there is no space for pride. You see, firstly, because I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Secondly, because it's universally available.
And nothing to be special about.
There is no claimant.
There's
for
no
it.
claimant.
Yes.
And you're saying this is the Devachiya Dwari. This is the heart temple.
Yeah.
Door to the heart temple.
That very stillness, that very turning within. It is where we go for the truth. Now, whether we call the truth God's name or whether we call the truth I, we go to the same place. Is it that the mind offers you things like, I have got it now? That's why pride?
No. It feels like an end of an exploration. Like I have arrived somewhere that like the mind latches on to that.
Yes,
I
but
have
that is
arrived.
completely not true. No, that is not true. You have to see that because it's never the end of an exploration, it's like an ever deepening exploration.
Yeah.
You see? The end would be that, now there's nothing to turn inwards for because I already know. You see? So don't give the insight to the mind to draw that conclusion because the mind doesn't know anything.
So Father, when I come out, like not, I'm using this word come
Yeah.
out, when I come out, but let's say when the thought comes that I have climbed the Everest, it's like I've arrived, then I buy it.
Yes.
That's
Instead of
where
buying it, say, who is this I?
Okay. I think that's where that's where the pride comes because I believe that I have arrived. So then
Why? Who has arrived? Like, what are you talking about?
I see.
Ask yourself to explain to yourself.
Yeah. And it's such a beautiful process, Father. But because of this one catch, I threw away the
Exactly.
whole path.
Exactly.
But when it comes, it, it's so fulfilling. It, it, it satisfies my heart, you know.
That's why I love Gyaneshwarji. No? He's saying by God's grace, Guru's grace, those who have not come to non-duality, how will they ever take God's name? He's not saying it's the end. He's saying you've not even come to non-duality by Guru's grace, how will you take God's name? You see? And on the other hand, he says just keep taking God's name, and then by God's grace you will come to non-duality. So he doesn't make anything like the final destination. In one line, he makes it like the prerequisite to take God's name. How will you take God's name? How will you do the kirtan if you haven't even come to non-duality yet? So then that can squeeze our pride out.
Yeah. So that's like, yeah.
So we must not get into Uddhav mode. Because what was Uddhavji mode? Same. He saw that all this is not real, I am not touched. Why is Krishna sitting and crying for Radha? So that is the mental conceptualization about what the insight we are having.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
It's conceptualizing the truth, like
Correct,
putting it in a
correct,
bucket and saying,
correct.
yeah, this is.
Remember, I always say, don't take your heart knowledge and give it to your head. Because then it will become learnt knowledge conceptually and will contaminate your inside.
I want to say more.
Yes?
It's like, so the first few years after I came to Satsang, there was a lot of this type of.
Yeah.
So this was the best. Like the bhaktas were like,
Useless.
yeah, they are. Now it's the mind has taken the bhakti mode, so inquiry and that and all that is. But in my heart, I know that there is a meeting point. Like they are taking you to the same point,
Yes.
but I couldn't meet those
Yes.
the convergence of those paths.
Yes.
But that line that you said, that triggered this whole exploration. That when you say Ram, I am like, what?
The true remembrance of God and in the simple way of taking His name is to be fully immersed him in Him alone, and there is no space left for the me. Ram. Versus like Ram, Ram, Ram. Like I am doing, I am taking. But this is more like a dissolving into God's name itself.
This is what you were saying of Marial, like opposite of Marial. It should
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yes, but Mariel is what I was saying is that powerless prayer where we are faithlessly, we just like, but I am. There's no like, He is here, He is with me, He is the Lord of this. There is no awe, there is no wonder, there is no joy. Like our faith has taken a back seat, and we just feel like because my teacher has told me I'll keep taking his name. That still has power. A million times better than not taking. But it can be much more in that bhav, in that awe, in that faith that he's here. One good thing is that, one helpful thing maybe for pride, to keep us humble, is that we say that till I come to Atma Darshan, my spirituality hasn't begun. Till I come to spirit, where is my spirituality? It's beautiful, isn't it? So is Devachiye Dware Ubhashana Bhari. In that very moment at his door, every liberation is attained. You see, but he's never referring to it in the past. He's never saying that, okay, now I was at the door, I am done. No, this is the moment. This is the moment. This is the moment. Now. So the object of pride can always be something that has occurred in the past. But the past is not there.
So it's like kshanabari.
This, exactly. But there is great potential for it to be misunderstood. Like if you are doing it without guidance of a teacher, we may say, but yeah, I have been at God's door many times.
Yeah.
So I am sorted, finished. No, this is the moment he's talking about.
Yeah. It's that, like, oh, but I just came to it.
Correct.
So, ho gaya na? Like,
Exactly.
I'm just
Exactly.
saying it out loud, but
Exactly.
these are the things I
Exactly.
fall for.
Exactly. No, these are the spiritual traps that the mind lays. So the sage is saying we must come to God's door this moment. This is the moment where all freedom is ours. But we cannot pack it in a bag and say now all freedom is mine. This moment.
Thank you.
So he's put the most difficult and simplest in the first line. Because it's a lifelong project. We have to remain at the door, we have to abide there. Where all insight, all love, all beauty is received by us. So to break the bounds of finality about the insight is a very beautiful job.
Say that again?
To break the bounds, the bonds of finality around the notion of insight about who I am is a very important and beautiful project, because the same danger of pride. It's been sold to us as the top of the mountain, but it's really not. It's just a gift received at the door. Somebody receives the gift and says, see what I did. What did you do? You just received the gift. You see? And there is nobody who doesn't receive the gift in that moment of being at God's door. So that also takes care of our pride. The sages told us, for a moment at God's door. Now what is that? Who is aware of the perception of this hand? Anybody saying not I? So everyone has that inside. and yet not. Is the most treasured and yet the simplest.
Thank you for that. It's a very beautiful exploration. Thank you.
Father, Father, when you were hand-holding her, Ishana, and in the inquiry, so I tagged along. When there was a question that who is, when you said that you are in a witness box and been asked that who is, how do you know it's me or I? That time or now, even now, the insight is it's I because.
Say the last part again.
Now the insight is.
Insight is, yes.
That it's I because it's only I that is existing now, nothing else. Everything which is existing is I only, Father.
Who perceives all existence?
That's I, Father, because there's nothing
Yes.
else than I.
So this because you're saying to communicate, or this because is the basis of your insight?
Because I don't see any other option there, Father.
Okay, but the intellect needs to negate and then settle on an option.
No.
Is
no.
your insight based on that?
No, Father.
Yes.
It's there because that is it. I mean, it's there.
Yeah, yes. This helplessness, inability to explain is very important. You see? The minute we start saying, I know it is I because something, then that is an attempt of the mind to try and understand this which is ununderstandable.
So, can you walk me further than that, Father?
Yeah. So, the I that is aware of the perception of hearing these words, who is that I?
That's I. That's me. That's I, Father.
Yeah. How do you know?
It's only me, Father. There's no one else.
Is that how you know? Is this conclusion how you know?
No.
Or the conclusion is after the knowing?
Conclusion is an outcome, Father.
Yes. So leave the outcome, leave the conclusion. You don't need to convince me. Yeah? And you don't need to convince yourself. You have to stay in that place.
That's it, Father. Stay there. I mean, that's the one you are referring to. Movement.
It can sound simple now.
No, but
You have to abide there. That is the stillness, that is the silence, where this gift, all these gifts of insight are received. So it's very good that we chopped off the intellect's ambition to participate by giving rationalizations, because this, because of that. Has to feel fully naked, fully without support.
Thank you for this, Father. It's really precious. For you, Father, in your journey, like you've shared with us, I wasn't here in the first 5-7 years of when you were sharing Satsang. But based on what you said, most of it was qualitatively like self-inquiry most of the time. And you've also shared, in your upbringing and the way you looked at the world, it was from this atheistic standpoint prior to the shift for you. But the shift from self-inquiry doing its work for you, and then the sweet name of God doing that same work, Um, what was that? Do you know what caused that transition, or it just happened?
It's tough to say. It's tough to say. I don't know. It's just the Atma's curriculum is like that.
Father, I just wanted to share. First of all, thank you to you and Ma, because we took Vithala on the weekend to our house.
Ah, yes, very
Yeah,
good.
it was very beautiful. Like you keep asking if Ram is standing in front of you, how will you behave?
Yeah.
I feel that I was able to get a sense, like I never had the answer, how will I behave? But when we took Vithala, it was like constantly like what would please him. Uh, Chanting his name will please him, thinking will not please him. Like what would he like to have? Is he comfortable? Am I behaving bad with Zara? Or we even had a fight and we both said, oh, this Vithala will not like it. So
Very
we
good.
actually
Very
wanted
good.
to apologize to
So sweet.
Vithala.
So sweet.
And so many miracles also happened, like we chanted and danced on a Hari-Part.
Very nice.
And Godavari Tai called us in the same moment when we were
Oh,
sitting
wow.
and trying to chant.
So
We
beautiful.
heard bhajan of she had some event and
Ah, yes.
she put us on video call
Okay.
literally.
Yeah. They were calling. I was not able to answer them.
It was very
So
beautiful,
so
Father,
nice.
and uh, and just felt like it was also like a answer that if like you always ask God is here, then I have the answer that how would I behave. Like
Yes.
priority will be God and
Yes.
focus will be on God,
Very good.
and I want to continue with that. I don't
Yeah.
want to lose it. Like now we don't have him, but that focus has to be him. I want to remember that he's here and try to live it every day, Father. Thank you.
Such a beautiful report. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Yes.
Father. Thank you
Yes.
too much.
And there is no, this is the beauty of this, that there is no dichotomy between what we are discovering, God's reality to be, our reality to be Nirakar, Nirgun, beyond attributes, beyond birth and death, beyond form and formlessness. And yet we trust God's mercy so much that He makes Himself available to be loved in the way that we are able to love Him. You see? So that whole thing about Kasa Prakatala on the brick, how have you, the greatest, the unchanging, the one in whose light millions and millions of universes are born every moment and are swallowed up by you every moment. You have come for the sake of my love in front of me, standing on a brick waiting for me. It is astounding, His grace, His love, His mercy. You see? But because our mind is dualistic, you see, it cannot fathom. It has to be either like this or like that. So the formless to make himself available in form to be loved, so that we can also meet him as the formless. So we don't settle on either form or formlessness. You see, it's very beautiful. It's very good for our pride also. The minute we start to say, no, no, that is higher, this is lower, this is higher, this is lower, then we are stuck. To love Him in whichever way our heart shows us to love Him, and to get guided into that holy reality of formlessness also. It's beautiful. So nice.
Father, can I ask something?
Yes, yes.
Um,
How will you translate then? It's over, translation.
um, So it's related to what you were just saying. And I still don't know how to ask the question. I feel like maybe I'm not ready. But I'm opening up more to the practice of the repetition of the name throughout the day. And I feel like I'm just barely beginning. And
I feel like that also.
okay.
I feel like that also every day.
Okay. And I don't know. Um, you say Ram
Yeah.
or I say Jesus.
Yeah.
And in your experience, let me ask you like this, maybe it's easier. In your experience, when you say Ram and you're going through the day and then you remember to remember God and you say Ram, is there any part of that when you remember or when you're saying the name or when you think of the avatar Ram, or is it just a symbol? The word is a symbol for the absolute, for God inside your heart.
Yes.
Is that I,
All of them. All of them.
okay?
All of them at various times, like that. Like I was saying about the mango, no? That mango then at every level of our being, it can be met. Memory, imagination, emotion, all places, all facets of ourselves can be met, immersed in God's name, and it may change
Is
from time to time.
and even if you so maybe if I say Jesus and I'm thinking of Jesus or I'm thinking of his
Yeah.
compassion or his
Yes.
teaching or his
Yes.
time here,
Yes.
um, then do we need to invite a transition from that to the abstract, to the formless one, to the
We can do in any way which feels best in that moment. My only thing is that before we, if it is like focus prayer time, before we end our focus
no,
prayer,
I don't mean
just
focus prayer. I mean throughout the day, because
throughout the
just
day.
this attempt to keep in the
Then we
remembrance
don't have
throughout the
to.
day.
Then we don't have to. Then we don't have to worry about taking it to the highest or lowest or any of that.
So it is irrelevant whether there are images of Jesus
Yeah.
or just we use that name because we want to be in the presence of God,
Yes.
because of faith.
Yes. Irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel that it's mostly about faith and faith in God and faith in
Yeah.
you, because often I'm just saying the name. Sometimes it is very clear that the name is more than just a name, um,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's more about faith, and I feel that with time it's doing other things that I don't need to understand.
Absolutely. That's so irrelevant from our side of it. Is it?
Yeah.
Irrelevant from our side of it. As long as we are taking refuge in His name, then the way that we are meeting it at which layer is irrelevant from our side of it. If He wills it so that He pulls us in this way, He gives us a taste of His unconditional love, or we come into a deep silence, or we feel like we are participating in His life in some way. All of these things may happen by His grace. But how we undertake the exercise, as long as we remain as full-heartedly as possible with God's name, it is irrelevant how it is met.
And
Uh,
okay.
it's a very difficult thing to say. Like,
Yeah.
it's irrelevant, and yet with the more full-hearted love we bring to it, the more we bring that awe of being in His presence. That that is still relevant. I don't know whether that's a contradictory answer or not,
No, it's
but our job is to do it, and then when that job seems natural more and more, we offer ourselves more of ourselves as much as is our capacity then to offer to Him in terms of our love, in terms of our awe of being in His presence, in terms of our remembrance of His light in our heart. So, but actually, in that carefree just remembrance of His name, all of these deeper levels will be shown to us.
okay.
So
And
sorry, but irrelevant
no,
and relevant.
no, it's good. It's good. I wanted to play devil's advocate because there's this thing that comes sometimes. So I'm just gonna say it. You know that thing that they say, if the Buddha appears, kill it, or like you said, I can't remember, was it Father Lawrence? Who was it
Yeah,
that said, if Mother Mary comes, just say, not
yeah,
now, dear, or something
yeah,
like this?
yeah, yes. That's
So
where,
how to reconcile this,
yes,
the first part of my question with this?
yes, that's
Because
for
this
focus
objection
prayer.
that,
Yes, in our focus prayer, that's what I was saying, that in our focus prayer,
oh,
before we end the prayer, we make sure that we are making ourselves available to receive
oh,
from Him, to not drive the process anymore, to dive into that
okay,
silence and stillness is very,
okay.
very
That's
natural in our focus prayer. Yes,
okay. That's really helpful, Father.
yes, my dear. And as you go along, sorry, I keep making it simple and then making it complicated, but
No,
uh, like the boundaries between our day-to-day activity, chanting and focus prayer will also start to dissolve somewhere. So we'll talk about that as we go along. I don't want to make it too complicated at the moment. But just for
yeah,
now, just
sometimes,
when you take out a few minutes and just focused on remembering God, then before you end your focus prayer time, take a few minutes to just rest in that stillness, allow
yes,
Him uh, to drive, allow Him to show you whatever has to be shown. And in your focus prayer time, the proportion of cooking and eating may change as you go along. But in the constant remembrance of God's name, it doesn't. Right now, it's not so important. Just keep at it with His name.
yeah. You said the other day, just keep saying it, and if you keep if you keep saying it, taking the name will teach you to take it with love
Yes,
and with remembrance of His
yes,
presence.
exactly. That's exactly. And I'm not the only confusing one in my own defense. I have to say, because
That's okay.
Ganeshwarji, we've been doing the Hari part. I don't know if you were in that group, but he starts off by saying, just take it with your mouth, nothing else. That's it. And then later he says that if you are not taking it with love in your heart, then what's the point even? No? Then later he says that rare is the one who does it with remembrance of God's presence and then taking the name. You see, so I'm not alone in this
No,
in this operation.
no, it's okay. I'm okay with these contradictions. They feel very, they feel like Zen koans to me, so they're helpful for this mind that is too much.
Very good, very good.
Thank you, Father.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
Love you, Father.
Love you. Thank you. Okay, let's go to Adrian. You can keep going.
Just quickly, Father,
Yes.
wanted to ask you, when you say taking God's name, does it always have to be verbally with the mouth, or it also be inwardly?
Yes. So depends on the attention that you have available. In my case, if I'm working on some work for the work which involves some calculation or spreadsheet and things like that, then it seems like I have very little attention left to take it inwardly. So I need a more gross instrument. So in those times, the mouth and lips come very handy. So I just keep going Ram, 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 Ram,
Oh,
Ram, Ram
okay.
with the lips, while the other aspects of my being may be caught up in some other thing that is required to be done at that point of time. But otherwise, if nothing is requiring much of my attention, then it's inward. And when it is His grace, then He chants it for me in the heart, and I'm just witnessing that. So it depends on our life situation at that moment of time. But the more distracted we are, the more gross the instrument can be.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you, thank you.
So what about when talking to someone? What
Yeah.
to do then?
So then, if you're talking like full attentiveness, like there's one talking which is just like, if I'm talking to, if my daughter ever sees this, but if I'm talking to my daughter, she's doing most of the work, like she's talking. So it's very easy to inwardly just, there's enough attention to be hearing her. I'm not neglecting her, I'm just hearing her, but there's enough capacity for it to happen inwardly. If it needs like attentive talking, like the sharing
When
of,
I need to speak,
yes, when you
hearing
need
is
to
easier.
speak, then you'll notice that if you've grooved it enough, then it may happen in the backdrop by itself, like just because it becomes an inner habit to keep taking the name. Otherwise, every time you take a break, every time you give yourself a minute or two, then you can take it. राम 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 जी।
कैसे हैं आप?
उसको ठीक, आप कैसे हैं?
प्रभु जी से मेरा राम ठीक है।
आपका साउंड इतना क्लियर आ नहीं रहा है।
अच्छा,
प्रभु जी से मेरा राम
अब
राम कीजिए। हाँ हाँ हाँ। अच्छा अच्छा
हाँ,
अच्छा। Bless you all.